What's going on, everybody? It's me, Brandon, back again with another video, and today we are talking about Pokémon Legends ZA. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Pokémon Legends ZA, finally another Legends entry after a couple years. I don't even remember how long it's been since Arceus, but the Pokemon games in general feel like they've been really bumpy lately, whether it be fan perception, personal preference. It's very interesting. I don't know. I never felt like I've seen another video game IP, at least in recent memory, outside of like Call of Duty and stuff, that just genuinely gets so much hate. And people still play these games. Now, I'm not going to make this video about my whole perception on Pokemon and what I think a lot of stuff that's been going on around this franchise, but Pokemon Legends ZA has come out. It came out early October. It is now, as of this recording, November 15th. And I really enjoyed my time with this game. This was a step in the right direction for Pokemon. Now, I've seen Pokemon Legends as an experimental series. I'm almost looking at the Legends series as how I saw Pokemon Colosseum and XD, where they were trying new things in the periphery, but the generation games were still the main meal of Pokemon. So the Legends games were trying something new, different regions, new Pokemon forms, new ways of gameplay. You can catch Pokemon without a Pokeball or without a Pokebattle, all this other stuff, but Legends ZA continues that format, expands upon it, literally changes up the gameplay of Pokemon from what we've known for the last 30 years, and it's something that feels very fresh. Now, in my opinion, I find the Pokemon stories not usually that deep. I have found that the Legends games are at least trying something new. Like, I feel like they're trying to take care of older fans. So this is in no way like a damage control or anything that they're like, okay, we got to satisfy the older fans from, you know, the new generation only players, the people who don't play spin-offs, all of this other stuff. But I really enjoyed Arceus as a prequel to Pokemon Gen 4, so Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And a prequel's very light. It's just, it has related elements. It takes place in the Sinnoh region, follows Arceus and Dialga and Palkia, and I thought it was a really cool game, very different at the time. The art style was beautiful, the gameplay was fresh and new, still turn-based, but you were able to go into these vast open spaces and capture Pokemon, sometimes not even needing to Pokebattle, and it was really just so refreshing. Finally, I can see a Pokemon just running around and I can capture it without even doing a battle. It was awesome, and it was really filling up my boxes in the PC or whatever it was back then in Arceus, but I was having so much fun catching Pokemon again. It got to a point where in the generation games, I would get my starter and 5 other Pokemon, and whatever new stuff came around I would capture, but I became more of a casual player of Pokemon over time. So I was a huge fan of, obviously, the Game Boy stuff. I've played Red and Blue, Yellow. I love Gen 2, Gen 3 is my favorite. I've put countless hours, I've done numerous playthroughs of, you name it, Ruby and Sapphire, and I recently got Emerald. Finally, I've never owned a copy of it, but I love Pokemon and I played it so much back in the day. But as the newer generations come out, I still put in a lot of hours. Like up front, I will spend the 50 hours or whatever playing the story, the post-game, and enjoying the game, but I usually fall off. Back then, especially with like Diamond and Pearl, I would just sit there and run around the world and just play non-stop. That would be a game I would play for years and just enjoy my time with it. And the Legends games, they still get that 50 hours plus of the story, the post game, but I feel like if any of them in recent memory, even Scarlet and Violet, ZA is doing it for me. Now, there's research tasks to get a shiny charm, and shiny charms I believe are always in the main gen games. Again, I'm not like super hardcore about the shiny stuff or anything like that, but I did that. I did all the main story content. I did the post game. I did all the research tasks. I got a shiny charm. I put about 65, 70 hours as of this recording, and I really like it. I find the new gameplay of Pokemon, this is exactly what I've been looking for I guess the last like decade. It was really cool to see Pokemon X and Y back on the 3DS go 3D. That was like the first huge monumental step for Pokemon outside of the black and white like movement sprites. And I feel like since then we were kind of just stuck in a bubble. You were seeing new progress with Sun and Moon as the characters start becoming more human shaped and like all this other stuff, and they're not necessarily chibis anymore. And then Arceus is trying new things, and of course we had the different generations on Switch. But anyway, Pokemon Legends ZA I found to be quite the game. It takes place completely in Lumio City. This is like a sequel. This takes place 5 years after Pokemon X and Y, which I thought was a really cool take. It was something that I actually had to pull myself out of for a minute, go back, refresh my memory on what I'm looking at from X and Y, and then what I may see in Z and A. And it was really cool. You will see familiar faces. You will get story concepts that happened in X and Y, and they will follow into ZA, and I'll keep that very broad. But seeing some characters that I may have not seen in, what feels like 10, 11 years now is pretty surreal. And it's only been 5 years for ZA time, but from the events of X and Y and ZA, it's only been 5 years. But seeing these characters so long ago, like when I was in high school, X and Y came out. I was a senior in high school, and remembering this character so faintly, or getting reacquainted with and being like, that character is this character. I was like, oh my god. Now there were some that I remember right off the bat. I was like, oh, I know who you are, and you were very cool and all this other stuff. But ZA is really interesting. Now, is the story concept anything super amazing or groundbreaking? No, but this also does close the door on that long-awaited Pokemon Z. I think a lot of people, myself included, when X and Y were coming out, this was also around the time with the older Pokemon games where we were almost guaranteed a third entry all the time. Now, I remember some kids in my class back in the day were like, I'm not playing Heart Gold or Soul Silver. I'm gonna wait for, Liquefied Crystal or or whatever. I'm not gonna play X and Y. I'm gonna wait for Z. And it's like, you knew that kid was just not gonna play Pokemon, because it got to a point where you just kind of expected that third game to just go away. And it did. And we finally got Pokemon Z in Pokemon ZA. And I thought this was really cool. Zygarde is shown off in full fashion, every single form he has. He is a big part of the story, or is part of a big part of the story. And it was just really cool to finally close that door. I know a lot of people have wanted Pokemon Z for a long time, and I think it was actually planned, and it was scrapped right before Sun and Moon came out, I believe. But it was really cool to finally have that Pokemon Z. And I just want to say, I hope for the next Legends game, we can just call it the Legendary. While I enjoy the ZA title and I understand what it is, it's a battle system. So it's like a battle royale ranking type thing. You start at rank Z and you climb up to A, and you can just do this throughout the game, and you'll get different ranks, and you battle at night, and the new combat mechanics are really cool. It's like a real-time strategy game where you still get your 4 moves, and then you hold down like the right trigger and then you lock on, and then you pick your moves, and it's fighting in real time. Like, you are doing battles. I could do 30 battles in an hour if I wanted to, if not more, if I'm really trying to grind out battles and stuff in the battle stations and all that. It's a really refreshing new take on Pokemon. It makes the game faster, and that may steer some people away, because they could easily be like, well, Pokemon never needed to be this fast, we never needed to have this type of movement. But it's just not Pokemon. Pokemon should always be turn-based. But I think, again, with the Legends style, we are able to experiment with this franchise and try to see what is new, what is different, and maybe implement that into the new generation of Pokemon, and that will probably become a mainstay. As we looked at Pokemon Arceus, and then we had Scarlet and Violet, I will die on this hill, and I will say that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was a dream come true for me. Being able to play with my brother-in-law, and to go ahead and grab a friend and just roam around whatever that region was called, and catch Pokemon together, battle Pokemon together. It was surreal. Like, that's the dream, guys. Since Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow, and I remember playing this, and you had the link cables with your Game Boys and all this other stuff, the DS wireless trading. Like, we're doing the thing that we always wanted. And that was so cool. And that was unreal, too. But the performance was hectic. But we're seeing these slow moving progress bumps with Pokemon. And it started with Sword and Shield. And we had the big open area. And then we had, I believe, Arceus. Or somewhere in there, something else happened. It was Sword and Shield. I may be missing another generation. And then you had Arceus. And then you had Scarlet and Violet. And like, we're just slowly moving towards a whole new era of Pokemon. And after this new combat implementation that was in ZA, I genuinely do not want to go back to the turn-based. Guys, I've been playing Pokemon since Blue, and I've done the turn-based for too long. When I jumped into ZA, and I actually understood what the combat was, because watching ZA, I was like, okay, they added a dodge mechanic, I guess. And also, I've been trying to steer clear of trailers and stuff. If I watch the initial trailer and it looks interesting, cool, I'll play it, I'll buy it, I'll enjoy it. But same thing with the ZA, is I jumped into this game and remembering that initial gameplay showcase, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, Pokemon can move around a little bit more than they could in Arceus, and of course, Scarlet and Violet, and that'll be something new, but completely new gameplay mechanics here for Pokemon, and an absolute first in the franchise. And I fell in love with this, and I was going crazy building Pokemon, getting strong Pokemon, trying to max up my potential for a lot of these Pokemon. ZA feels like it's one of the first times ever in a Pokemon game where I feel like I have crafted a team that could replicate a real life Pokemon scenario. I love how certain Pokemon act. I love hanging out with them. The design of my character feels really cool. That's like one of the big features I've loved with Pokemon since X and Y. We can finally personalize and try to make ourselves in Pokemon games. And as somebody, again, who has been playing for a very long time, getting that personalization, especially beyond the default designs of these heroes or these main characters, and making them a little bit more quirky in your own way, is really refreshing and fun. I love that. I feel like I'm all over the place in this video, but I just really want to talk about Pokemon ZA and say how much I really enjoyed it. The new combat is really good. The post-game is really good. The story I actually found was really satisfying. Again, I love how this is like a sequel to X and Y. It's just very refreshing, and I'm excited, probably more than I have been for Pokemon in quite a while. Even after I played Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I really enjoyed my time with that game. After playing Pokemon Legends ZA, I think I'm in a more positive space for Pokemon than I have probably been in a long time. we have a lot of stuff coming out with Pokemon. There's like Poketopia, which is like a Ditto, Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing game that I'm definitely going to be checking out. There's leaks already of Gen 10 coming out next year, which is going to be really interesting. I guess it's called Wind and Waves, but there's no official confirmation on that. And I think Pokemon's going in the right direction. For me, I see so much discourse online just about Pokemon, and a lot of it seems very overblown. And if I personally just ignore it, it feels like everything is under control and fine. I don't even know if it's like a hot take that I say I like ZA, because I'm just like, I try to pay no mind to it. I try to ask some people in my life, I'm like, what do you think about ZA? And there's different opinions all over the place. But like, man, Pokemon feels really good right now with ZA. I love the new gameplay. I love how it's working. Obviously, we can milk the Switch 2. We can milk these machines and try to get the best image, the best graphics, all this other stuff. But like, in time. And also, I'm not playing Pokemon for that reason. I'm playing Pokemon to see the Pokemon and love the Pokemon that I've been seeing for the last like 30 years. So I will leave it at that. This video, yeah, just me talking about Pokemon Legends ZA, a lot of Pokemon stuff, and I don't know if I got my point across at all with this video, but you know, I really want to start making some videos. I feel like I've been tongue-tied and bound to figuring out how to make more YouTube videos. I am kind of struggling with the idea of making more YouTube videos right now, but I want to do different stuff. I miss it. I love it. I love doing YouTube videos. It's just fun to talk about video games, and while I get that fixed by talking to my friends and family about Pokemon, there's just something about playing a video game, going ahead, turning on this camera, talking to you, and just having it out there. I feel like if I'm not creating, if I'm not doing the YouTube thing, it's kind of being a massive burden to me. As in, like, it's like a downward. Like, I really, if I'm creating, I'm feeling very positive. And it just feels good. I love talking about Pokemon, love talking about video games. This channel will always be here, so I can talk about video games whenever. I'm trying out different things. I'm standing here by my bookshelf, by my wall, just different things. Got some Kamen Rider Black right here. But yeah, no, I would love to do more Pokemon stuff. Maybe make like a video talking about what would my ideal real life team be. I think that'd be really fun. Here's some spoilers up here. Not everybody, but here's some spoilers. But yeah, that is it. So please let me know in the comments down below what you think about Pokemon Legends ZA. Did you like it? Do you love it? Are you playing it on a Switch? Are you playing it on a Switch 2? I hope you're playing it only on a Switch and a Switch 2. I hear a lot about that. That's not good. But with that being said, please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, my name is Brandon, and I will see you all next time.